And on Florida's farmers. We will continue to rise before dawn and harvest our crops, ensuring that Florida-grown fruits and vegetables are in your stores and that your family is fed. We are providers for our families and yours. We're Florida's farmers, and we're in this together.
Randall Wiseman, Southeast AgNet.
When it really counts, depend on the source for the latest weather updates, keeping you ahead of the storm. 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
Today will be mostly sunny and pleasant. High today 80 to 82. Then mainly clear skies this evening. Low tonight 60 to 66. Wednesday and Thursday both will have a mix of clouds and sunshine. High on Wednesday 81 to 83. High for our Thanksgiving Day Thursday 80 to 84. Mostly sunny Friday. High 81 to 83. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Holly Holdren.
Finally, shipping made easy. Just Ship is your answer to your shipping aggravation. They come pick up your package and ship it for you. Birthday gifts, eBay sales, or an online return. Just Ship can handle all of them for you. Act now and you can save 20% on an annual subscription, which will take you through the 2020 holiday months. Go to www.justship.net now and take the aggravation out of shipping.
This is Ocala Talks with Tom Schmidt, bringing stories that are important to our community in and around Ocala. Plus, of course, a splash of sports as well. Now, here's your host, Tom.
Good Tuesday morning. Welcome to Ocala Talks with Tom Schmitz. I'm your host, Tom Schmitz, coming to you live from the palatial studios of WOCA Radio, just outside the food court entrance to the Paddock Mall in the Brick City, beautiful Ocala, Florida. But hey, if you live in Ocala and you want to relax, it's only a drive away. We're talking about Miami Beach, Florida. Yes, that Miami Beach, with its 7 miles of beaches, its international cuisine, its art and culture, Miami Beach. That's right, you could win a hotel stay in Miami Beach and a tank full of gas. But you can only win if you call in and give us your name and phone number. Call 352-732-8000. That's 352-732-8000 for your chance to win a hotel stay in Miami Beach and a tank full of gas, brought to you by your friends here at WOCA The Source. Paradise is only a drive away. And a guy who drives every day, or almost every day, up and down the I-75 corridor, boy, he thinks he's in paradise when he's in his car. Galen Unal joins us. Galen, good morning to you.
No, this isn't paradise. This isn't quite hell. It's not purgatory, but it's one of those things. Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's not quite hell, but it's nowhere near heaven either.
Correct. That's absolutely right.
I took that trip. I had a meeting yesterday about 5:30 in Gainesville, and so I had to go north on 75. Yesterday, right at 5 o'clock. It wasn't that bad till I got to Gainesville. And then I had to go all the way to 39th Avenue. Oh, and 39th is the worst. 39th is just terrible.
Well, that time of day it sure is. And it's amazing how the congestion gets just stuck right there. So, yeah, is that Joe screaming in the background?
It is. He walked out of the studio and didn't shut the door, so you can hear him bellowing in his office. So if you'll...
Yeah, tell him to quit screaming.
Well, you know, I'm just gonna have to go shut the door. So you're gonna have to hold the airwaves for a second while I go shut the door.
Well, and I'll talk a little bit about Miami. I mean, there's you can do almost anything in Miami. So some of the great cuisine. So it's something you should definitely text in or call in your phone number and your name, and maybe you can win. I'm sure we've already gotten a lot of interest.
We actually have gotten a lot of entries yesterday for this Miami Beach thing. 2 entries we didn't get, Galen Unal and Tom Schmitz, because we're not eligible.
No, which is unfortunate because, you know, we both know the person who's going to pull the name, and, you know, they're easily bought off. So,
easily.
I mean, maybe $5, baby.
I mean, how many radio stations are giving you a hotel stay in Miami Beach and a tank of gas to get there?
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know.
You know, I remember
it's the only one I listened to. So
I remember this
don't
radio
know.
station in 2012 sent 2 people to the Masters. This radio station sends people to cool
sure
places. It sends people to cool places.
I couldn't win that one either, and I wasn't very happy about it.
Yeah,
so
I didn't have to win.
I told Dan.
I didn't have to win
I told
that
Dan,
one.
I'm like, I don't know how I can't win. I don't know.
I chaperoned the 2 winners to the Masters, so I didn't have to win.
I heard. Yeah, I heard.
So,
I was the guy in the background screaming at you.
So let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
Last night, TB, number 12, who is known for his fourth quarter comebacks, ice in his veins when he was with New England, just looked average last night. Threw some interceptions, and the interception went down by 3 with 1 minute and 50 seconds to go. He threw one of the worst passes I've ever seen him throw. He threw it right to the defender. It wasn't even close.
Well, you know, and I watched the replay thinking, where was he throwing the ball? And I don't know if he just overthrew him or if he ran the wrong route, because when he released it, it was obvious that he thought it was where he wanted it to go. There was a lot of drop balls in there. They could not run the football. He was under pressure the entire game. I thought the defense played pretty well in that fourth quarter and gave Tom the ball back with more than 2 minutes left, down by 3. You know, you got to believe in that situation he's going to come through, and he just threw a terrible pick.
I mean, it was horrible.
It was just not a good throw. And that was the second pick of the game. You know, and he didn't look right. You know, he was hitting Mike Evans in the first half, and then he just went to AB in the second half, and there was just no rhythm to the. I love the Bucks. There was just no rhythm, and that's usually when Tom's really good, is when he's in a rhythm and he's spreading the ball out. You know, Leonard Fournette dropped a couple of, swing passes that killed drives, and I will say it was a clean game. Not a lot of penalties by either team. They were really letting the DBs be very, very aggressive on both sides of the ball. And so I'm comfortable with it because they were consistent on the call. But, yeah.
You know, last night there was something that happened in last night's game that I was kind of amazed that this is the first time it ever happened. They were talking about the historical aspects of it, and I was like, really? This is the first time it's happened? Last night, an entire African-American crew worked the game.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's
referees.
Cool.
Right.
Yeah. I think they made a big deal out of it. I mean, it's not a new thing in football.
But it's the first time that every referee on the field was African-American.
Yeah. I'm always torn when they make a big point of that. And if you look at it, that wasn't one of those things that was. I guess that's never happened. It was one of those things they forced.
Because I would have never known. I would have never known it's never happened, except they pointed it out it's never happened. I just assumed it had happened before.
Yeah, because it's not uncommon to see them out on the field. So I don't. That's why I'm torn on it. I force things like that are first. This is going to sound horrible, but it's almost gimmicky. They did that. The NFL did that just to get that publicity.
100%.
Right? And I that's why I don't know how I feel about it. How they tied it. Let me give you an example. When's the last time they had an all Irish American referee crew? Or, they've never had a Native American crew, I can tell you that. Or an all Hispanic crew. Is that next? Are we just – because the more we talk about that, the more it divides our country into race. And that's not – I don't like that. If we are really going to be a melting pot, then at some point, who cares?
What got me was how they you say what you mean and mean what you say. Say it's the first time an all African American crew has worked a football game, and the NFL positioned it that way so they could make that statement. Instead, they said, well, with COVID-19 and travel restrictions and people going by cars and everything, scheduling led to this kind of evening, and it's a historical evening because of COVID. So they made it something to do with COVID-19 and everything. That's not what it was. It was a publicity stunt by the NFL.
Right. They did this last summer. They planned this. So, again, okay. All right, let's check the box and move on.
It's kind of like people,
I mean, if that's what we're at, let's just check the box.
I will be the first one to tell you. That I had a chauvinistic view 5 or 6, 7, 8 years ago, however long it was now, when they said the first woman was going to work an NFL game. I was like, what? Women don't belong on the sidelines of an NFL game refereeing. She's going to get intimidated. These big monsters are going to go up to her and just get all over her and everything. Well, I was wrong. I was completely erroneous in my thoughts. It was completely barbaric the way I thought, because now I don't even know. I know that there are like 8 or 9 women that referee in the NFL. I don't even know which games they work or anything, and don't care, because you don't know they're there because they're doing such a good job. Remember, referees do a good job. You don't know they're there.
Sure, and I didn't think that was a big deal either, because talking about one of the most protected human beings on the planet would be those women. I mean, there's no way an NFL player is going to touch or hit a woman on the field. And if anything, they're going to treat that referee completely different because she's a woman. Because if they don't, if they were to scream and yell at a female referee, they would be suspended, and their moms would be unhappy with them. You know what I mean?
No Campbell Soup Chunky commercials for that guy.
Right. That's what I mean. I mean, it's so no, I don't. Again, I'm past that too. I think we're going to start. We're already going to have a woman GM in Major League Baseball, which I think is tremendous. So, and I'm not one of these people who believe that you need to have played the game in order to have coached it. I think you need to understand the game. I think you need to know all the ins and outs of it, but I don't think you need to play it to be a great coach.
No, what you need to be a great coach is, like you said, you need to have an understanding of the game, and you need to have the commitment from your players. I played football. I played football under a guy that he started in the game as an equipment manager because he wasn't good enough to play football. He was, he got to that level of high school, and he played on the B team, or JV. But then when he got to varsity, he couldn't play, so he became the equipment manager. And by the time I got to college, he was a college coach by that point. He was coaching special teams, helping coach special teams at Georgia Southern. And now, the last I think he was at, where was he at? He was somewhere out west. It was Wyoming, I think, the Cowboys. And he's a defensive line coach now. Never played past the 10th grade, but he's forgotten more about football than I'll ever know.
Well, look at the arguably the greatest coach of all time, if not definitely of our generation. Bill Belichick never played football at a high level.
Nope.
John Wood was not a basketball player. We could go on and on. I just don't think it's a recipe.
Eric Spoelstra, who's won 2 NBA titles with the Miami Heat, he started off as a video coordinator.
Correct, but he understands the game, and he's able to explain the game, and his coaches respect him. I think that's all you need. I think we're beyond that. I think people can do whatever the heck they want to do if they're good enough to do it. I just wish we could go back to a meritocracy instead of everything being, race first. That's why I don't like the Rooney Rule in the NFL. The Rooney Rule, to me, is illegal.
It's window dressing is what it is.
Well, what Rooney Rule does, just in case, is you have to, if you have a head coaching vacancy, you have to interview an African-American person or a person of color. Right, and I think that's forcing it, that's not the way we should view everyone as equal. And trust me, these NFL owners, they're not racist. You don't become a billionaire in this country, and they're all billionaires with a B, by being a racist. You want the very best player you can to run a company that's worth $1 billion. At that point, you're well past race.
I don't know. There's a lot of people that'll say there's a billionaire in the White House that's a racist. I happen to disagree, but, billionaires can be racist if you listen to the left.
Well, that's fine. I mean, that's not. You can't even make that argument without making somebody mad.
Exactly.
Again, that's just not the way people. It's just not the way. If you want to be successful, you got to surround yourself with successful people, despite whatever they are.
Well,
So.
Well, I surround myself with successful people, Galen Unall being one of them, but also the good folks at Penn Flooring and Palm Garden. I surround myself with them, too, because they're much more intelligent than me. And we're going to hear from them right now. We'll be back after this short timeout on Ocala Talks with Tom Schmitz.
This is the time of year to count our blessings and to give thanks, and at Palm Garden, we're thankful for a lot. We're thankful to work in a place that shows such kindness and caring to people who need our services. We're thankful for the opportunity to learn life stories and celebrate them. Most of all, we're thankful for our precious guests and residents. Unique, different, special, elite. We are Palm Garden.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
Now you did it. Are you completely insane? He's back. He, who must not be named. The man, the myth. The only guy in Ocala to eat his own weight in fried pickles. Twice. Now, you asked for it. Sorta. Live and in person. It's Tom Schmitz.
Welcome back to Ocala Talk with Tom Schmitz. We are on the line with Galen Unall from Life South. We were talking about the NFL game that took place last night in Tampa. 7-3 now. Tampa is 7-4 now. The Rams moved to 7-3. And Galen, really last night's game was the highlight of last night's game was whoever won had the tiebreaker over the other team for the first wild card position, position number 5 in the playoffs, because the fifth place wild card team gets to play whoever wins the NFC East, which is kind of going to be like a bye week, I would think.
Maybe. Who the heck knows? I mean, that NFC East team can get red hot. Once the playoff starts, it's almost all bets are off.
The leader of the
for the Rams than the Bucs.
The leader of the NFC East is 3-6.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything once the playoffs start. It just doesn't. You get the right people healthy, or the other team gets the wrong person COVID positive. Doesn't matter. Should we
look into the possibility of, if you got a losing record, you can't be in the playoffs?
No, because you still need to win your division, right? No, just win your division. No, I'm not a. Again, just. They set the rules. I just wish there wasn't as many teams that got in. I think the playoffs should be a little more special than it is. And the Bucs haven't made the playoffs in like 7 years or something.
Right. 16 teams will make the playoffs this year. And there's only
they haven't decided if it's that many yet, but it's 12 right now. But they haven't. They're right. Is it 12? Yeah. 14.
14.
So,
but they're contemplating
they may expand it to 16.
Right. They may expand it to 16. I just don't. That's the reason I don't like the NBA. I just think that when you put half of the people in the playoffs, then there's no really reason to have a season. Just pick.
Correct.
Pick 50% of the teams draw them out of a bucket. Pick 50% of the teams out of a bucket and say, "Here's your playoffs. Let's go."
Yeah, I agree. I hate it. I don't like how they expanded the Major League Baseball playoffs. The regular season tells you who the best 4 teams are. I think the 2 top teams from the American League should play in the League Championship and the National League Championship, and that's it. And then you play in the World Series.
I miss the days.
162 games is plenty. It's plenty.
It was in the early 70s when they went. It was in the 70s when they switched over from the top 2 teams that would play for the pennant, and because they wanted to make sure everybody had to make it more interesting nationwide for people to still be in the playoff hunt and everything. But there's no way that a team that's 80 and 162 games, so 82 and 80. Is beating a Dodgers team that's 104 and whatever, they're 48. And somebody goes, well, they could get hot and beat them. Over a 7-game series, the Dodgers are winning.
I'm going to give you a couple of examples. I mean, the Red Sox did it twice. The Marlins did it twice. The Rays made it to the World Series.
Yeah, but they weren't 2 games over 500.
No, again, but, that wild card has won a lot of World Series championships. I just don't think that's right. I just don't. And in hockey, it's even worse than basketball.
Oh, hockey is terrible.
They're half of the hockey playoffs are as long as the regular season.
Hockey's terrible. And in the NBA, let's look at the NBA. Do you really think the number 8 seed has beat the number 1 seed a couple times? I know that. But a number 8 seed's never won the NBA title.
No,
because they're not good enough.
The Magic, the Magic seem to own the 8 seed. This year the Miami Heat got hot. That's more about injuries and who came back than anything else. But I don't like it. I really don't. I think you need to earn your way into the playoffs.
I remember there was a football coach here in town. I won't mention his name, John Brantley, who would schedule his games when he was at Trinity, and he would schedule all these 5A, 6A, 7A, 8A schools.
Sure.
Because he was in a division that only had one other school in it, so he knew he was going to make the playoffs every year. So he could go 1-9, but he'd play competition that was so much better than what his squad was. And he didn't go 1-9, by the way. He was very competitive, but he could have went 1-9. And still would have made the playoffs, but because of the competition he had scheduled, he would have been much more prepared for the playoffs than anybody else in his division. And he'd have been 1-9.
He did the opposite. He did the opposite of that at Bellevue, where he scheduled all cupcakes so he could make the playoffs.
Right.
So, and again, that's just knowing the system and being a good coach and understanding what it takes for you to make it to the playoffs. I respect that. I really do. I just, high school is completely different than the pro level because of the way that the districts work. And I think you should need to win your district to make it to the next level. But not everybody agrees.
Well, you're so spot on with knowing your schedule and everything, though, because when I was in school, we would play football, and you knew that if you were ranked in the top 2 or 3 in the country, when it came playoff time, because it was a 16-team playoff, the teams that were 16, 15, 14, 13, inevitably, almost always, would come out of the Northeast or the Midwest, Northern Midwest. And this was before, this was when in the heyday with Georgia Southern was and Furman and were the top schools, not, out west and Montana State and all. But you would play these teams, and I remember vividly, we were losing to the University of Maine. And Coach Russell said in the locker room, fellas, don't worry about it. It's only halftime. The Maine Black Bears aren't used to playing in South Georgia in November. It's 87 degrees out there. We got this. And we came out in the second half, and about halfway through the third quarter, you saw a transition switch where these guys were dead. Their tongues were hanging out. They were pulling on their jerseys. Their hands were on their hips. And we're just looking at them like, what is Coach? How did Coach know this? But then it registered with us. It's because we're used to playing in this kind of weather, and they're not used to playing in this at all. And because in November, it's not 87 degrees in Maine.
Nope. But they already got snow on the ground.
Right. So
but, I have no problem with that. You never played Mount Union, though, did you? Because Mount Union.
They were Division III.
Then.
They were Division III.
Oh, that's right. They're Division III. That's right.
And by the way, as good as Mount Union was, if they'd have played us in 1989, the year we went undefeated, we would have crushed Mount Union. It wouldn't even been close.
Yeah,
Crushed.
Nobody was beating you guys.
No.
Yeah, back in the heyday, back when Georgia Southern really cared about football.
We beat the Nevada Wolfpack with a Brock Marion led Nevada Wolfpack. Remember that name, Brock Marion?
Yeah.
So we beat him. Hey, tell us where the Bloodmobile is.
Hey, today we're going to be at the 40 Shopping Center right there in front of the Publix, so please come by and see us, or right on the boulevard a little further east on Silver Springs Boulevard. Give the Gift of Life, donate blood. Call us at 622-3544. We are in critical need of all blood types, so please give the gift of life. Give the gift of life and donate blood.
Galen, you know. Thanks, buddy.
All right, my man. Be good, y'all.
Yep, be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
What this does is allow the Biden transition team to get not only federal funding, but also resources to start the process, including FBI background checks and coordinating with these different agencies. It's the right thing to do. It's a responsible move to make sure that whoever's president, we will have a government ready to go in January.
President Trump has not conceded the election. David Dinkins, New York's only black mayor, has died. He was 93. Dinkins died Monday night at his home on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. Dinkins coined the phrase gorgeous mosaic to describe New Yorkers' tolerance and respect for ethnic diversity. USA Radio News.
When you have a pain in the neck, a real pain in the neck, back, shoulder, or legs, you now have two convenient choices to get fast relief without taking another pill. Because now, Sunny Bay heating wraps and pillows are available at both Amazon and Walmart. Yes, see Sunny